Can you guys hear me now? Yay, nay? Sorry, I didn't even realize that the microphone was off. Don't know when that happened, so my apologies. Um, 30 kilo ohms. Yep, you are right. It is a 1911 slide. We are doing this. Sorry, guys, I didn't even realize that my microphone was off. But yeah, we're using the Lindsay Airgraver Classic. It's just a nice little palm piece to engrave, and it's a pneumatic hammer, so you get the air that comes through here. So Whiny Comb, I appreciate you telling me that the mic was off. I don't know how long I've been running it without it on. Hopefully not too long. All right. We're moving our jig to get a little bit more okay. We'll finish off on this side right here. All right, let's see. What's funny is I've been talking, thinking that I'm talking to all you guys, and I'm over here just talking to myself and my dog, technically. All right, there's one. If you're just tuning in, guys, now that you can actually hear me, I am engraving a 1911 slide with a flare cut. And yeah, as you can tell, you know, every cut requires adjustment. Cool gray. No, that's not blood. That's a red marker. Sorry. That's my red marker that I've been scribing in at first, and then I was able to, draw it in and then scribe in. So let's see. No, Whitney or Whiny Comb. No, man. I was talking to myself the whole time apparently. So I don't know how long I've been talking to myself, but yeah. So I was trying to explain stuff, trying to teach people, and I'm over here being an idiot. I guess it happens. I'm just a huge fan of how that one came out. So we'll fix it right here. Cut in. There we go. Much better. Matthew, thank you for subscribing. Thank you, thank you. Snipper Loco. I watched a ton of YouTube videos, man. Believe it or not, a bunch of YouTube. That's the big thing. Yeah, there definitely are classes, Snapper. As far as classes go, GRS offers quite a few. Some of the guys that I would suggest looking up, dude, there are some wildly good engravers. I am not a master engraver. I am not as good as these dudes. When you see these guys at engravings, you guys, I'm telling you, your jaw will drop. Check out Jeff Park on Instagram if you can. Um, and just be like, oh, this guy on YouTube, sent me over just to check your stuff out. But man, his stuff is wildly good. Just art pieces, and he's doing it on Rolexes. So he's working on Rolexes. I'm working on 1911 slides, but he is creating masterpieces on Rolexes. I'm not a huge expensive watch guy, but if I was to buy a Rolex, I would want the Rolexes he's putting out. I mean, they are wildly good, absolute masterpieces. Another guy to look at is Sam Alfano. He does some beautiful stuff. Matthew, yeah, if you want to check out this. So I'm using the Lindsay Air Graver. Foot pedals down here. I basically, every time I push it, it engages the hammer. Right now I have a jig that was made, that I bought, pre-made from GRS. Basically holds this. You don't technically need this jig. This just helps rotate for that curved part. Now, as far as this is a ball vise, so as you can tell, it's just a big ball. It weighs probably about 20-ish pounds, 25 pound-ish on it, and it allows the rotation and movement to happen. Below that, I've got basically what you would call a lazy Susan setup, and it allows me to do that, and it allows the really nice smooth curves to keep moving. So yeah, between the air graver, the ball vise, and the stand, and then I guess what I'm looking through a microscope, that always helps because you need some magnification. You do some great stuff. So hopefully that helps you get set up or have some idea what you need to do. Trigger finger. I haven't, not really. Especially not now. I'm used to it, so I don't actually get really cramped or nothing like that. Let's see. All right, we're gonna start working on this side right here, so that way we can finish this whole setup right here. Mark, yeah. So this is a carbide tip. It's called the C-Max tip. It's some sort of carbide alloy, I believe, from GRS that they make. It comes out really hard, and that's all I know. Let's see. And guys, obviously this is my canvas is a 1911 slide. If you're not a fan of guns, not a big deal. Like that's not a problem. You can use this art form on jewelry, any knives, people with like car shows, bikes. I mean, it is an art form that you can really diversify into whatever you want. This is just the one that I enjoy, but that doesn't mean that this is the only canvas you can do it on. So really, if it's something that you don't like as far as like, the pew-pews go, move over to, jewelry, watches, make some memorable pieces for people. Use your art to create something timeless for people to cherish for the rest of their lives and hopefully for generations to come. Again, I use lasers too, guys. So I use lasers. It's just another tool in my toolbox. But I'll be honest, not a huge fan of laser engraved stuff, especially if it's fully laser engraved. I just don't think it has any uniqueness to it. And it's just going to be copied over and over and over again. See, that's what happens when you have a curved surface. We're going to try to even it out. There we go. That's what you don't want, is a slip. Luckily, it goes right into a leaf we're going to make. So that was lucky. Don't do that if you're doing this. Do as I say, not as I do, I guess is what I tell people. Snapper, tracing the lines. There's a few different methods. People use ink from like, what is it? God, what are they called? Laser jet printers, I believe is what they call them. In essence, they use acetone, and they use the acetone on the paper once it's on the metal to basically transfer it over. Another way is kind of how I'm doing it here, is just freehanding it. So usually I'll say, hey, I use like a Sharpie, like a permanent marker that has alcohol in it. Clean your surface really well, because any oils make it so you can't use the Sharpie. So use alcohol to wipe stuff down prior, and then you draw it in. In essence, yeah, you basically just draw it in and create your whatever you're going to create. So. Yeah, toner. Sorry, I meant toner, not ink. Yeah, so basically the toner will transfer onto your piece with the acetone. So the image itself, basically, I drew it up on Procreate. Created it, like, I just use a bunch of different pictures, and then we go through and make shading. So the laser engraver, when we use it for the laser engraving on this portion, allows us to create a 3D image. And then you create a 3D map, which in essence, so it can take your drawings or artwork and make it into something that is readable by the laser engraver and can slice it. Now, as far as like the scroll work, that again is by hand right here. But usually I'll draw stuff up on paper. After I've drawn it on paper, take it into Procreate, make it a digital format. Once we made it digital format, we can either take it to a 3D slicer, or we make it into an SVG, or a vector format, in other words. So that way it becomes a black and white image for the laser to read and engrave. Now, if you're not wanting to do that, again, that's a tool that I've got at my disposal right now. If you're looking to do it by hand, just good old pencil, man. Pencil and stippling, just creating the shadows and stuff. Evil Lenny, yeah. I mean, that's still one of the main methods people use. I don't use it as often, and I'll admit it. I kind of feel like I'm cheating, because instead of using the printer to print it and transfer the ink on here, I use my laser engraver to give me my initial drawn out pattern that I have, and then I go from there. If I can't draw it to just on here freehand, that's sometimes what I'll do. I learned one method from another engraver that was really, really good. I have not been able to replicate it though. is he used that toner and acetone. He used that toner and acetone trick, but somehow he was able to transfer it. With it was such a light. I don't even know what happened. How it happened. It was such a light print job from the toner that it would transfer directly onto paint itself. Once it was transferred onto the piece, he would then get fixative and spray fixative over, and now it was permanent. It was the weirdest method I've seen, but it was by far the best method. I just have not been able to replicate it. If I can replicate it one of these days, I might just be able to share it on a tutorial, on a video, and be able to teach it to everyone. It is, it's by far the best method I've seen, because I've seen all the other methods from people, and that was such a cool trick he taught. I just don't have the same printer he had, and it seemed like that printer was specific to him finding this quirk, this glitch that was allowing him to basically do it. And the reason I don't like to use the engraver to sometimes outline my work is because the laser, if it screws up or somehow it's not right, then I have to go through and sand and buff everything again to take out the microscopic dots that's created by lasers. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. It's been a long day. We're just having fun tonight. We chopped some right here. We're gonna have to try to fix that later. These edges always scare me because if I slip into it, it just takes kind of like getting caught into a mud wash with your tires. It'll just take you into the rut. And that's not what we want. Foxes go boom. Man, this is a fun art project. I'm not really rushed on this one. But if I were to say, like, if I had to push it out for people, if I was under the pressure of getting it to a client, I'd say this probably would take me a month-ish. And it's not like straight, like I'm not going to work on it 10 hours a day. I get burnt out if I do that, and I don't want to get burnt out on stuff because then I just give out crap work when I'm burnt out. So, yeah, I'd say about a month is what I would give somebody realistically. On something like this. Just because I've still got to... The thing is, I do the polishing, I do the design, I do the plating, like... And then at the end of it, if I feel like I want to get real in depth with a project, I make a box, I try to make an art piece for somebody to really enjoy. Yeah, I mean, it's basically using, there's a piston. There's a piston inside here that basically moves up and down or back and forth, however you want to describe it. But it's this piston that moves back and forth with the air pressure coming through, and it's just tapping away at this bit. So in essence, it's like a hammer. It's acting like your hammer and chisel. This is your chisel. This is the hammer, all in one, fed by pneumatics, and that's what allows us to keep digging forward. J Dog, thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Hopefully you like it. Young broccoli. I'm gonna be honest, man. Whenever it's satisfying whenever you're carving into steel, and there's a perfect little curl just forming. I'm not gonna lie. That is a very satisfying moment, especially if it doesn't break. Man, that is probably one of the best things to feel as a metal engraver, no doubt. We'll see if we can get something going right here. See, get that curl coming, yeah. Problem is now, see, I lost it right here, so I'm gonna have to restart over right here. Not a great example on that one. J Dog, no man, I appreciate you asking the question. It is not a full-time gig for me. In fact, right now, technically injured. Luckily, engraving with a hammer piece like this doesn't require a ton of physical effort because I tore my pec. But that being said, what drew me into it really is the art aspect of it. I really enjoy art. I've always done art since I was a little kid. I still remember drawing pieces for my mom as a tiny little kid. I was probably, it was before preschool. I still have a memory. Or sorry, not before preschool, but like right around preschool age. I have a memory of drawing my mother, our house. And ever since, I was a kid, I just loved art. And man, this is just an art form. It allows me to express myself and keep going from there. Not to mention it's an art form that, if I have this on a mantle or something, this piece of art can also become a very good, useful tool in my self-preservation if I needed to. Hopefully never have to use it that way, but yeah. I'll be honest, and as far as forging goes, dude, I tried forging a knife not long ago. Oh my gosh, guys. I'm a pretty fit dude. I feel like I'm a pretty fit guy. I mean, I've lifted for years, bodybuilded as well. And I'm going to tell you right now, blacksmiths must have the grip of Thor because my forearm completely cramped up. I could not move it. I knew at that point in time that forging was maybe not for me. BPB. You know, this is one of those forums where I try not to talk about, stuff that gets kind of political for people. I will say, yeah, I try to, I practice I practice my self preservation as best I can, and I try to be as prepared as I can always, in multiple forms and factors. I mean, I think it's good to have it. Uh, I enjoy, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, although right now I'm hurt, so that's not a possibility. But I think it's good to be a well-rounded dude or dudette or whatever you fancy yourself. It's good to practice and be prepared at all times. All right, here we go. And guys, sorry, I'm not answering as fast as I'd like to because I'm literally looking at this under a microscope, trying to make sure that I don't screw it up. So I try to get to your guys' questions as fast as I possibly can. Again, thank you for tuning in regardless if I get to your question or not. I appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully you subscribe, and hopefully if I don't get to you tonight, I hope I get to you later on in one of my other live streams. Oh, boy, that was a bad screw up. That's what happens when I'm not paying attention, guys. I have to fix my mistake. There we go. Okay, we're good. That was almost bad. All right, I'm going to get to some questions real fast. Sorry, guys. All right. I'll zoom out. That way you guys can see what it kind of looks like. I'll show you guys this one. All right, let's see. Party, hey man, appreciate you coming on and tuning in. Start by learning how to draw. The designs is the biggest portion. Learn how to draw, read, watch YouTube videos. First piece is the biggest thing. Is get to drawing, get to designing, and learn how to draw scroll work. I'm still not an artist, like a master at it by any means, but understand how to draw that. Understand how to draw like borders. Like this is one from Lane Zulke. Lane Zulke's an amazing artist. These are some of the borders he uses, or even engravings you can use, and just practice and learn it. The tool, this is the tool right here that you want to get, or you can get a GRS model as well, is always a big one. Yeah, J-Dog, yeah. I mean, mad respect to all those guys as farriers. Farriers are insanely strong. I know they are. They have to deal with horses, right? BPB, BPBB. Yeah, man. I mean, keep on it. It's awesome. So yeah, here's the zoom out on it, guys. This is as far as we've gotten so far. So we finished this earlier this week, I believe, right here. And then we're, obviously this was mostly today. We're on to this part right here. We're hitting the hour mark here shortly, which usually marks my time to, peace out. So we're gonna finish this scroll off, maybe do some outer portions of it, and then call it a night. But guys, I really do appreciate that you guys have tuned in, and you know, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We are on the brink of finally breaking 4,000 or 4,000 subscribers. I want to add one more accent here. There's a ton of negative space here, and I'm not a huge fan of it. So we're going to add at least one leaf in here just to give it some dimension. Okay. I'm going to start it from way back here. Awesome. That takes care of some of that negative space that we had right there that I didn't like. So we're good there. Created enough leaves. We've created that scroll. Really from here, we're going to grow the vine out towards meeting this vine right here that was from this backside. So in essence, it's coming and designed to meet, and it flows both ways. So when the viewer, is looking at the piece of art, they're focused on this. They go to the scroll work, brings them back around right into back to the piece. So hopefully that explains, guys. There's some pattern to the madness in my mind, at least I hope. But yeah, guys, we've still got this part to do. We've still got the rest of this to do. I'm gonna be coming off here shortly. But before I do, I'm gonna go ahead and answer a few questions for you guys. So if you guys have questions, please ask them. Now's the time. Thanks, BPB or BPBB. Thank you, J Dog. Thank you for tuning in, man. Danoni, I'm here from the U.S. Soy de Estados Unidos aquí. Ethan, as far as getting started into this, honestly, just drawing. I like art. I wanted something that could last a very, very long time and hopefully be passed down generation to generation and not get lost. And this just made sense to me is you know, a pew pew at the end of the day. Ruben, this is a 38 Super Colt slide. Cost for 10 millimeter. Booth bag. Honestly, it doesn't matter as far as like the caliber. Nothing matters. What really matters is the complexity of the project. What you want done. How many hours is it going to take? You know, am I looking at maybe, I mean, how in depth, you know, do you want gold inlaid into it? Do you want silver? Do you want copper? You know, do you want, heck, I've done a diamond. I have put a diamond into a front sight. 2 diamonds, actually. You know, it just depends on what do you want to do, and that's really going to convey the cost. So saying that, you know, one thing is going to cost more than the other, it just varies on the art project. All right, guys. Well, thank you again. We've hit the hour mark, which is when I tried to log off. I just try to do an hour a day or so if I can. But thank you again for tuning in. Again, until next time, guys, keep drawing, keep designing, keep creating some art. And if you have any questions, please tune in and ask away. Thanks again, guys. So, J-Dog, I don't have any on me right now, or else I would. There are some on my shorts. If you look at the shorts, you'll see some of the pieces that have been completed. And hopefully that gives you an idea on it. So thanks again, guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Until next time, keep drawing. Peace, love, all that. Take care.